My name is Nick Nairn and I'm a chef, and I'm also a passionate fan of farmed Scottish salmon. In fact, so much so that I wrote a best-selling book about it, Nick Nairn's Top 100 Salmon Recipes. And I've seen tremendous changes in the industry over the 15 years that I've been involved with it. And I've come here to the west coast of Scotland to find out the current state of salmon farming in Scotland and where the industry is going. Salmon is our biggest food export, sent to over 60 countries and with a value to the Scottish economy of over £400 million. But it wasn't always like this. Jeff Kidd was in at the beginning and has watched Scottish salmon farming grow from its humble beginnings to what it is today.
Well, the challenge is competing on a world market, I think, is we have to raise our game and emphasise quality, I think, rather than quantity in Scotland. I mean, our production is very heavily regulated. There's a lot of loops to jump through to satisfy a lot of authorities and a lot of bodies, and the old industry itself wants to monitor and just make sure that we're doing the best job that we possibly can.
And this is what it's all about. A salmon farm in the pristine, clear waters off the island of Lismore. Farm manager Donald Buchanan talked me through the process.
What you have in a fish farm is a series of cages where the fish are contained. They are grown from a very small size from the freshwater cycle. They come in here and they grow from about 100 grams to about 5 to 5.5 kilos. Our intention is to have as minimum impact on the fish in terms of our interaction with them. We try and grow the fish, we try and leave them alone, we don't try and move them as much as we can, and the best performing fish are those that have low stress levels. Our key priority is to have a low stress fish, and to have that you have to have good housekeeping, good welfare, and people that are very alert to their job, looking after the fish and having a passion in the care for the growth of the fish.
It's been a number of years since I was last on a fish farm, and I'm really struck about how clean, how tidy, how organised it is out here. It really feels quite pristine, and the fish look in magnificent condition. There's no sign of algae, there's no sign of lice on them. They're really healthy looking fish. The government has ambitious plans to grow the industry over the next 5 years. But there are fears proposals for a new operating legislation could halt that, cost jobs and send investment overseas.
The industry's new, so it's 25, 30 years old, but in that time regulation has increased. The industry's subject to regulation by 10 statutory bodies, 60 pieces of legislation, 43 European directives, so we're probably the most highly regulated food production industry in the world. That's driven some good standards, which we accept, but there has to be a limit before we damage competitiveness. We have to compete on a commercial level with bigger farms, lower costs from Norway or from Chile, and more regulation could damage the profitability, and that would restrict our access to capital investment and the future development of the industry within Scotland.
And this is why I'm here today. This is a side of farmed Scottish salmon, and it is just stunning quality. In my view, this is a world-class product. And I'm going to serve it with a little bit of a salad. So I've got some tomatoes, some red onion, a little bit of red chard, just dressed it with some oil, some lemon juice, some salt and pepper. And all I have to do is now cut an escallop, quickly flash fry it. It takes 30 seconds. In many respects, salmon is the ultimate fast food. A little bit of rapeseed oil, give that a swirl around the pan. It should just start to smoke. In go the little scallops of salmon, and I'm going to cook those on one side only, just to get a nice bit of colour on them, and leave the underside underdone. And the residual heat of the salmon will just cook them through and no more. Nice, lovely bit of heat in there. Out come the scallops onto a plate, and then I'm just going to give those a little bit, lose that pan down there, a little bit of lemon juice over the top, and a little bit of this seaweed salt that I found, and that's them ready to serve. So I'm just going to lift it on, lovely and just almost crispy on top. A last little flourish of oil round like so. Now all I need is somebody to come and enjoy it, and I think the guys that have been looking after me today deserve to come and have a taste. Guys, come in, tell me what you think. That is farmed Scottish salmon, 3 hours out the water. Not only is it one of the world's great eats, it's also incredibly important to the Scottish economy. Let's not legislate to lose it.